Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today I'm bringing to you a mouth-watering, delicious and beautiful dessert. I'm going to show you how to make baklava bracelets with a chocolate filling in the center. I'm using chocolate today, but you can fill them with whatever you want. You can put pastry cream or vanilla pudding in the center. You can just simply put some freshly cut berries and sprinkle some nuts on top. You can use these and fill them with whatever you like. They're delicate. They're delicious, they're flaky, buttery, syrupy, everything good. I first had these in Greece this past summer while I was on vacation and I fell in love. They are so good. Let's go over the ingredients. We're gonna make the syrup first because just like with any syrupy pastry or dessert in Greek baking, we start by making the syrup first because it needs to cool. Let's start. For the syrup, we're gonna use some water, granulated sugar, a little bit of honey, and the juice of a lemon. You could use a lemon or an orange, whatever you prefer. The rest of the ingredients, we're gonna need a pack of No. 4 plain phyllo. We're gonna use some salted pistachios as a garnish, lots of butter that we're gonna melt. This is semi-sweet chocolate for the filling, heavy whipping cream, and some vanilla extract. So I'm making just a half batch of syrup today, so I'm going to add my sugar, honey. Now a trick to getting the honey out easily from the measuring cup is to dunk it in a little bit of oil or spray it in some baking spray. And then it all comes out without wasting anything. And whatever's left, I'm just gonna rinse it out with the water. And then I'm gonna add half the juice of a lemon because this is just a small batch of syrup. I'm gonna mix this up and bring it to a boil. Once all of the sugar and honey are dissolved, the syrup is ready, then I'm just gonna remove it from the heat and set it aside to cool to room temperature. So next we're gonna melt the butter. This is unsalted butter. I'm gonna pour this steaming hot, heavy whipping cream over the chocolate so that way we can make the chocolate filling. I'm gonna also add a little bit of pure vanilla extract, about a teaspoon, and I'm gonna let this sit for a few seconds so that way the chocolate could soften. After that, I'm gonna whisk it all together until a velvety smooth chocolate ganache is formed. And now it's time to make the bracelets. So you wanna make sure that you thaw the phyllo overnight in the refrigerator because it does come sold frozen. And then take it out and leave it in its packaging and let it sit at room temperature for at least an hour or two before you work with it. So I have 2 baking sheets lined with parchment paper. I'm just gonna set them aside. I have a really long pencil, but you can use a skewer or a wooden dowel, anything that is long that you can use to roll this up, and it'll make more sense once we start. We're gonna take 1 sheet of phyllo at a time. And this is something that once you start, you don't want to move away from because the phyllo is going to dry up. You can also cover this with a slightly damp kitchen towel. I'm going to take a little bit of butter and I'm not going to brush it. I'm just going to drizzle it all over the top. You don't have to brush it. Fold it over. Then I'm going to take the pencil and I'm going to roll up. Not too tight. You want it to be slightly loose. And once you get to the top, you want to leave a little bit of a border. You want to leave about an inch border, and you'll see why in a second. And then you're just going to take the 2 ends, you might have to lift the pencil up a little bit, and you're going to squish them together to form sort of a little accordion. Pull it out, then you're going to form a ring and sort of connect it at the ends. And this is why you want to leave a border, because you want there to be a bottom. You're kind of like making little mini tarts. And then put it on your baking tray. Let's do the process one more time. So you want to lay a sheet out, drizzle with some melted butter. You want to have the short side facing you, fold over to connect the ends. Doesn't have to be perfect. Put the pencil on the bottom, on the long edge, and then just roll up. We're going to leave a little bit of a border. Push the 2 ends to the center to scrunch them up. Release the pencil, form the ring, and attach them. And that's it. Place them on the baking tray. And I'm going to keep doing this until all of the rings are formed. So once they're all formed, then you're going to want to brush the tops with the remaining melted butter. As you're brushing the tops, you can go ahead and press the bottom part so that way it can bake flat. And if they start to come apart while you're brushing them, you can just go in and gently press them together. This recipe makes about 19 to 20 little bracelets, so I'm not going to bake these all today because we're not having any guests over. I'm just going to bake 6. The rest of them I'm going to place in my freezer. Once they become frozen, then I'm going to wrap the tray with plastic wrap, and it's going to stay fresh in there for about a month at least. So, and then anytime I have friends over, I can take however many out, place them on a baking tray, and just bake them until they're nice and golden. That takes about 25 to 30 minutes. My oven is preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I've placed a small tray of 6 little bracelets in there in the center. They're going to bake about 20 to 25 minutes or until they're nice and golden, and I'll show you what it looks like as soon as they come out. So I'm just going to finely chop up these salted pistachios. You can use unsalted pistachios or whatever your favorite nuts are. I just love the combination of sweet and salty. Just going to roughly chop these, and I'm going to keep them ready to garnish the beautiful dessert once it's done. As soon as the phyllo pastries come out of the oven, you're just going to want to hit them with the syrup. I like to brush it on so that way they don't become overly sweet. But if you like them extremely syrupy and nice and sweet like baklava, you can make more syrup from the beginning, from the get-go, and then just pour the syrup on top and let them sit and absorb it. But the chocolate is going to give lots and lots of sweetness, so I don't want it to be overpowering. That looks good. Now I'm going to fill them with chocolate ganache. I also have some chocolate hazelnut spread here that I'm going to do half with the semi-sweet chocolate ganache and the other half with the Nutella. Doesn't that already look beautiful? So you are technically supposed to wait for these to cool and set. They need at least an hour, if not more. These are great made a day ahead of time because they'll be completely set and all the syrup will have settled in and they'll just be perfect, but we've met, right? And I am not gonna wait for chocolate and flaky phyllo with syrup for anything. So I gave it 5 minutes, that should be good. Sprinkle the tops with the salted pistachios, or you can top it with some fresh fruit. Totally up to you. I'm gonna go in and take a bite of the ganache one. So much going on in there. The phyllo is perfectly buttery and crisp, and there's just the right amount of syrup. You can definitely add more if you like them extra sweet. The chocolate is not too sweet because I did not try the Nutella flavored one. I really do like the semi-sweet better, the ganache flavor better if you ask me, but you do you and eat whichever one you want. And then I love the salty kick from the pistachios. You guys are gonna go crazy for these. Make these at your next get together and just wait, sit back and wait to see the smiles on everyone's faces. You can go on over to the website to print the recipe, dimitrasdishes.com. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below and what you want to learn how to make next. Thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. I will see you all next time. Yes, us.